Hello, my name is Father Eric Ritter. I'm the pastor of St. Matthew's Catholic Church, and welcome back to Gospel Outlook. Well, here we are on the 18th Sunday of Ordinary Time, and Jesus once again reminded us, what does it mean to be a disciple of His? And I love the Gospel. It's all this is coming from Luke, and someone in the crowd says, "Teacher, tell my brother to share my inheritance with me." And Jesus says, "Who appointed me your judge and arbitrator?" And then He gives us this parable because he says, "Take care to guard against all greed, for though one may be rich, one's life does not consist of possessions." And it's the possessions that he's referring to here. He's making a reference of this parable. He said that there's a rich man whose land produced a bountiful harvest. And he asks himself, "What should I do? I have so much. I know what I'm going to do." He says, "I'm going to tear down my barns and build larger ones. There I will store all my grain and all the goods, and I shall say to myself, now, as you have so many good things stored up for many years, rest, eat, and be merry." And he says, "You fool, that night your life will demand of you, and things will be prepared, and to whom they belong. He says that this night you will die." And it's I think it's a really important parable of, we know not the hour nor the day, but we must be prepared. But how are we preparing ourselves? Not with collecting how many possessions I could have, but in ways of how I'm taking my possessions and helping others. I think that's what Jesus is referring to here. You have all that rich, or you have all this things, and now what's going to be good? You can't take it with you. And you hear that so often. You can't take all your jewelry or all your gold or all your money or all your cars or your belongings with you. They're possessions. Okay, and we hear that expression, "Don't let your possessions possess you." And that's what Jesus said, the thing you greed, and when he's referring, be careful, guard against all greed, and do not consist of possessions. It's not bad to be rich. It's not bad to have many possessions, but it is bad if we're greedy because we want more and we're not sharing. There's where the sin comes into play. It's not a sin to be a rich person, but it is sinful to be rich and not sharing our gifts with others. And here he was a good example. This man had a wonderful, bountiful, fruitful harvest. And he says, "What am I going to do with all this? I know, rather than helping the poor, giving it to your neighbors or sharing it with other people, I'm going to build bigger barns, and I'm going to keep it for myself." Jesus said, "You fool." That's where he went wrong. Again, it's not bad to be rich. It's not bad to have possessions, but it is bad if we're not sharing our gifts with one another. Amen.